National Quilt Museum. Look, honey, that could be your favorite place.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to day 2 of my little trip from North Florida up to Minnesota. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you get a notification every time I make a new video. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, motovlogs, bike reviews, how-tos, hows and whys, and road rants on Fridays. Today, I'm departing Clarksville, Tennessee, headed for 4 Harley dealerships between here and Iowa, and there's a massive storm sitting over the state of Iowa. It's gonna be so much fun. All right, let's go. All right, first stop, guys, was to Appleton HarleyDavidson. It was not even 15 minutes from my hotel. Got a pin, got a t-shirt. They were really friendly and had some really cool bikes in there. They had like 7 CVO bikes, so that was cool to look at. Didn't get any pics, my bad. Kind of want to get out on the road, so let's go.
All right, leaving Appleton Harley-Davidson. We're headed to Paducah, Kentucky for the next one. About an hour and a half. I think it's around 100 miles. Yeah, 105.1 miles. I have been using the Harley-Davidson app for GPS, and that's mostly because they allow you to build and plan rides. And the interface for that is pretty intuitive. The whole app is decently well built. There are some things about it that I would change and improve. So let's talk about the one I wish I could have done this morning. So I wish there were a way to pause and close routes when you're on them. So here's what I mean. So from Tallahassee to my final destination today, which is in Waterloo, Iowa, I built my ride, leaving Tennessee, added 8 waypoints, and then, added 8 waypoints for the first day, added 4 waypoints, and then an ending destination for the second day. And obviously I don't want the GPS to be running overnight. There's just really no need for that. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want to leave it just running overnight. And so what I would love to have been able to do was pause a ride and then pick it up from there. And right now it doesn't allow you to do that, because when I go to that ride from yesterday, despite the fact that I'm sitting on the route, and I even tried to do this at Appleton HarleyDavidson, which is a waypoint on my route, despite the fact that I was on the route, I wanted to resume the ride, it still wanted to kick me all the way back to Tallahassee to have me restart the route in Tallahassee. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because obviously what I want to be able to do is, on an overnight ride, get to my hotel, pause the ride, and then press go the next morning without having to keep my GPS antenna going in the background. It uses battery, keeps the processor working so it maintains a certain level of heat in the iPhone that I don't want. That's not necessarily good for your device, and it just makes sense. So Harley app developers, if you are hearing this, hear my cries. But I also really like the app for its GPS, because it does have every Harley dealership's events and address in it. So if you want to go to a dealership, you just search it in the app and it'll take you right there. So that is really neat. And then other than that, it's a decent GPS app. I don't know what they did for GPS. A lot of other GPS apps will just actually sort of resurface Apple or Google Maps and then put their own logos and color schemes on it, whatever. They just sort of license out the use of another platform's GPS. So I don't know if Harley did that, or if Harley developed their own GPS interface, or whatever. But it works decently well. The voice on it isn't the worst. So yeah, there's that. Alright guys, we've made it to Four Rivers Harley-Davidson, just outside Paducah, Kentucky. It is windier than heck out there. A lot of white knuckle riding. But made it safely, and it's just sweet looking building. Let's go take a look. Isn't this cool looking? That's pretty sick. Huge. I wonder what they got inside. Four Rivers Harley-Davidson. Huge dealership. And I assume their service and storage area in back is also huge, because the actual store, merchandise, dealership area was big, but not like, warehouse big. But the building itself has got to be, I don't know, 2-3 times as big as what I saw. So now we are headed to Black Diamond Harley-Davidson, which will mark having arrived in Illinois, which means I'm not far from my final destination, which I love. When I get to Illinois, it's going to be about lunchtime. It says I'm going to get there around 12:30, so I'm gonna need to eat. So this GPS app, if you're seeing, I'm actually on the blue line, but here's how I know that Harley-Davidson...
After 900 feet, turn left and then enter the highway towards Interstate 24 West, Street Lewis.
Jesus. Street Lewis. She just said Street Lewis for St. Louis. Which is another tip for the fact that I'm like 99% certain that whoever Harley are using for the GPS for their app, it's not Apple and it's not Google. Alright, so this quick 50-minute ride to Marion, Illinois is probably going to take a little longer than 50 minutes. That just means less wind noise to have to talk over for a little bit, which is neat. See, this is what people should do. What those cars are doing up there, it's called zippering. You get to the point of the bottleneck and you just let people in every other car, and traffic flows a lot better. That was a method of congestion management that I first experienced in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and it works really, really well. So if any of you saw me skip that half a mile of traffic and thought, hey, you shouldn't do that, actually, you should. Semi behind me has left about 50 yards of clearance. Must be hauling something heavy. National Quilt Museum. Look, honey, that could be your favorite place. Alright, guys. This is one of the last check-ins, I assume, before I finally arrive. Just loading up at Roadhouse. I-57 Roadhouse, Harley-Davidson. It's a cool shop. Got a couple antique bikes in there. I put in my destination info to my hometown. That's where I'm headed. 6.5 more hours. Puts me at 9:22 p.m. arrival. Let's see, 421 miles. I got 178 left in the tank. Let's call that 150. That means 270 after that next fill up, which means, seeing as that I'm only getting around 200 a tank, we're gonna fill up 2 more times before we get there. So I check in during one or both of those. We'll see. Alright, guys, if you don't know, I am sitting in front of a Casey's general store. The first one that I have been at in months. Casey's is a Midwestern gas station general store chain. I believe they were founded in Iowa. Someone will correct me on that if I'm wrong. Whenever you start seeing Casey's pop up, that's when you know you're close to home. So here's another example of Harley's GPS function being sort of less than adequate. And to be honest, that's kind of being nice, because they don't get the closures and construction updates that the other apps do. So with Harley GPS running in the background to record my ride, I have to run maps and actually watch maps and use maps to finally get back onto the interstate heading the way I want to head. Alright, guys, welcome back. We are in Marion, Illinois, just like I said it would. And we are about to pull up on a big Harley shop. Not the biggest I've seen. Oh, never mind. Okay, it's not as wide as I thought it was. Pulling up, just coming up to that last intersection, I was like, dang, that thing looks huge. And it's good size, but it's not massive. So, yeah. Alright, y'all. Here we are.
Hey guys, quick update. Stopped out for gas, just got through St. Louis. and found that my saddlebag lid had been open for who knows how long. I lost 2 t-shirts, 5 pins, my registration, all my purchase documents for my motorcycle. Isn't that cool? Not a single motorist on the way tried to signal to me, honk at me, point at me. No one did anything. Not their responsibility, I get it. But if I saw that shit on a bike that I was passing, I'd be honking, I'd have the window down, I'd be telling them about it. No one did anything. So, yeah, that's cool. Hey guys, last update before I hit my final destination. Check that out. Whew. So I'm like 2 hours away from where I need to be. I put on my raincoat because the jacket that I bought is great for hot weather, but it's getting actually kind of chilly and the sun's gonna go down before I get there. So, pro tip, if you have a rain suit coat, they're waterproof and they're also pretty much windproof. So it's not necessarily gonna keep you warm, but it's going to keep the cold air out, if that makes sense. So, got about 130 some miles-ish. It's pretty much all interstate. So, final thoughts are next. Okay, y'all. So I guess I'm going to tie in day 2's final thoughts into day 3's first thoughts. So that's fun. Maybe day 2 and 3 will be the same video. If this isn't the same video as day 2, then they're the same video. So anyway, had a great night last night with my sister. Got to have breakfast with her and my other sister, and had lunch with my dad, and washed the bike. And I'm gonna load up, and we're headed to Rochester. So yeah, let's do it.